Y luego también te quería preguntar, sobre todo por el año que es un poco lo que más nos toca a nosotros, el año que ha tenido este 2024 que ha tenido Josema, te quería preguntar, sobre todo ya desde fuera, ¿no? Porque desde dentro tenemos evidentemente una opinión, pero también quiero saber la opinión de la gente que realmente sabe de culturismo desde fuera. ¿Qué opinas del año que ha hecho, sobre todo del campeonato de Pittsburgh, del campeonato de Nueva York, de ese impacto que generó, sobre todo por esa condición, por el back post sobre todo, pero en general, en términos globales? Y si tú realmente crees que está capacitado para poder pelear este año por conseguir el título.
I think Josema will definitely fight for a top 5 spot. I don't see him not make the first call out. But I'm going to be very honest. I don't think he has what it takes to be Mr. Olympia because of his structure, not because that nothing he can do. His condition is absolutely perfect. His muscularity is incredible. His back double bicep is probably the best in all classic division, but he just doesn't have the structure, the classic structure. His legs from the front are very straight. He always has to pose, a little to the side. He can't stand front to the judges. His arms are very flat. He doesn't have the round tricep or round bicep. He just has certain things. His shoulder overpower his physique. There is too much shoulder compared to the arm. At that level, you have to be very proportionate. To win a Mr. Olympia title, it's about obviously condition, muscularity, which he is probably the best. But then you need a certain flow, a certain proportion. And I think there are other athletes who just have a more balanced physique, a more proportionate, a more aesthetic physique, if you want, to some degree. So he's definitely going to fight for the top spots, but I don't see him beating the other top contenders if they are in condition. Because of the structure. But again, that's not something he can change. He's doing the best he can with what he has. But his physique, just for me, especially in a classic division, has too many flaws compared to maybe other guys who have better structure. And that's what we saw in Pittsburgh, and New York when they fight against the Rough, which is structurally basically perfect. He is not as muscular. He is not as conditioned. But his physique is just put together more aesthetically and more balanced than Josema, and that's why he doesn't win the competition.
Escuchándote lo que dices, que es algo que evidentemente se ha comentado también, el hecho de que hay atletas con un nivel estructural para el Classic superiores. Tú a lo mejor con el tiempo o incluso viendo lo que pueda ocurrir en este Mr. Olympia y viendo que al final es un atleta que, como en el caso de Urs, va un poco con la cuarta marcha, no mete la sexta, porque podría meter la sexta y ser mucho más grande, ¿no? ¿Le recomendarías, si esta situación se produce, si el feedback de los jueces es, mira, no puedes salir mejor con lo que tienes, ¿le recomendarías pasarse a Open?
No, absolutely not, because he is probably top 5, top 6 in the world in that division. He's never going to be top 5, top 6 in open division, even if he puts on the 10 kilos, because you cannot change the structure. His legs maybe will grow a little bit, he will look a little fuller, but it's still a structure issue. And I think he's making a name for himself in that division. And for me, he just doesn't need to, push the off season so much. Make sure you stay close to that weight. It's actually easy for him now to be classic because he doesn't need to add muscle. So he can actually have off seasons that are more healthier for him. He doesn't need to kill himself trying to take more drugs. He can really, really make 10 years in that class and always be somebody in the top 5, top 6, and make a name for himself. Josema is famous and known as much as any other bodybuilder in the world because of his condition, because of back double bicep, because he looks crazy. You don't need to win the Mr. Olympia because even if you go open, you're never going to win the Mr. Olympia in the open. So if I was his coach, I would tell him, look, stay in classic. Really, it's easy for you. You don't have to push yourself. You can use little amount of drugs. You are there where you need to be. And top 3 is always possible. Imagine being top 3 in the classic division. You will build a legacy, even though you don't win the Mr. Olympia. So I don't think you should go open, no.
Y ya para terminar el análisis de la categoría Classic, quería hablar evidentemente de otro de tus grandes atletas que también ha tenido algún momento de Open en esta temporada, como es el caso de Fabián. Y quería preguntarte en primer lugar qué fue lo que pasó en Portugal para que tuviera que competir en Open por no dar la estatura o por no dar el peso. Ahora nos contarás qué fue lo que realmente pasó para tomar esa decisión y cómo ejecutaste esa variación en la puesta a punto para sacarlo como lo vimos, que lo vimos muy competitivo en Open.
Yeah, well, we always measured him, with the official measuring scale, put on the head against the wall, and we even brought a measuring scale to Portugal. So we measured before we go to the weigh-ins, and we always measured at 190 centimeters, 0.08, which is exactly the height class that we needed for 116 kilos. We get to the weigh-ins and they measure us at 5 millimeters under. So what we measured at home was higher than what they measured there. And they said, no, you need to go in the lower weight class. So we had a decision to make. We could, push the weight down 3 kilos, which is it's possible, but it's very hard on the physique and on the look. And then we talked and I said, look, why don't we do the Open and we bring the best look to your physique instead of trying to lose 3 kilos, lose that fullness, lose that look that we worked so hard to get. And then we do another qualifying show to go to the Olympia. So, we didn't change anything. We did exactly what we were going to do if we were competing classic. And we brought that look that you saw in Portugal. Then 5 weeks later, obviously, we had 5 more weeks time. We slowly bring the weight down to the lower category. And now that's where we're at. So it wasn't that we made a mistake. We made a mistake because the height scale just was wrong different compared to what they had. And then we decided to bring the look instead of trying to get in the weight class by losing. Because, Fabian is over 190 centimeters. He's tall. If you take 3 kilos out of his physique in 2 hours, it destroys him. And you cannot then in 36 hours just kill it and then bring it back to life. He can look good, maybe he can still win the show, but it's not the look that you saw in the Open class, that plastic, fresh look. So we decided, okay, let's just have fun. You have to go until the Olympia anyways, so you have to keep prepping. So we just said, okay, let's do another qualifying show. And this time we just going to have fun and make people talk about your look and not the fact that you win the classic division. Simple.
Recientemente ha subido esta update a su canal de YouTube, donde se lo ve enorme, las cosas como son. Es un físico muy impactante. La temporada pasada no pudimos tenerlo en el Olympia por cuestiones familiares, creo que fue padre. Y lo que realmente, la pregunta que yo te quiero hacer es, ¿cómo lo ves tú de cara al próximo Mr. Olympia, de cara a dentro de 2 semanas? ¿Lo ves compitiendo para poder entrar? Yo creo que seguro en el top 10, pero ¿cuáles son un poco vuestras previsiones? ¿Cómo trabajáis? Y sobre todo, ¿cuál es tu grado de expectación con él?
Well, right now we're doing very, very good because with more time dieting, his body weight is now 115 and the limit is 113. So right now the video that you see is 2 kilos over the limit, which is very easy to make. We don't have to sacrifice anything. And then we have 48 hours time to bring back, some more fullness. So we are going to weigh in at 113 and we're probably going to be on stage at 117, 118 kilos. He was 116 kilos in Austria when he won. He's going to be probably, I would say 1-2 kilos more at Olympia with even sharper condition because he has been dieting longer. So I think when you're going to see Fabian on stage with 117 kilos, maybe 118 kilos, $1.90 m, it's, trust me, it's difficult to stand next to him because he's balanced and he's in condition and he has a lot of muscle. So for me, I expect him to be in that forced call out too and to fight for that top 5 spot.